There is a moment in this case that we really struggled whether or not to include. We were going to show a still from the screenshot of body cam footage, but out of an abundance of respect for Dominic's mother, we're not going to show that. That decision was not easy for us. Part of us wanted people to feel it with her, to understand the weight of what happened in a way that words can never fully explain. But another part of us realized something important. The worst moment of a mother's life does not need to be immortalized one more time for public consumption. Some pain deserves witnesses, and some pain deserves privacy. And the scream we hear in that footage doesn't even sound human anymore. It sounds like a language that only God Himself can fully understand. It is pure heartbreak, pure desperation, a mother trying to bargain for her son's life even after reality has already arrived. In that sound is every moment she ever had with him, all crashing together at once. From her pregnancy with him to his childhood, every hug, every laugh, every I love you, and every plan for his future. And then in one unbearable instant comes to the realization that that was all she got. No more hugs, no more holidays, no more birthdays, no more milestones, no more hearing his voice again. Just memories where a lifetime was supposed to be. And what makes it even more heartbreaking is that she loved Mackenzie and Davion too. Maybe she didn't even fully realize how deeply until that exact moment when grief forced her heart to tell her the truth all at once. Because in that instance, she was not just mourning one child, she was mourning all three futures. That's what that sound is. It's the sound of every what could have been collapsing at the same time. It is devastatingly unfair.
Darkness, debaters, starts now.
Welcome back, Darkness Debaters.
Welcome back. We're ready to dive into episode 2 of Shirilla the Killer.
Yes.
And I just want to remind everybody that we got that phrase, Shirilla the Killer, from the TikTok, and you said YouTube channel with the same name. We're not trying to steal that, so go give them a follow. Go listen to their content. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you will appreciate their content as well. So let's get them some views over there.
Absolutely. They're doing pretty good. They've got some really good translations over there. It seems like maybe they might speak this gibberish Carney language too.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about myself anymore because I've watched them so much that they played another phone call and they had the words on the screen that Shirilla said, and I knew what she was saying before they posted the translation, and I was like, these people just out here doing the work of the Lord. They making us all fluent in this language so that, and that's another thing. Y'all secret language ain't secret, and everybody knows what y'all saying, so try again. Y'all ain't the only people.
Yeah, I've never learned Pig Latin, but I appreciate those out here translating for us.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
I found out that it's Pig Latin is different. I have found so much linguistic stuff that I didn't know, and that there's different types of gibberish. Like There are people holding whole classes, whole college courses on this right now. And you
Really?
guys are the MVP because I just don't even know even where to start. And y'all are even teaching me who I barely get English out half the time. So
Yeah, same.
you guys doing all these translations. Y'all are the real MVP. You guys are amazing. Keep doing the Lord's work because you guys are just something else. I can't even believe it, but there's so many people and easy to follow. They're great teachers. I don't know if y'all are teachers in real life or if y'all are just have this gift, but that y'all are some gifted folks. I'm going to tell you that. So, with all that being said, and me doing my hero worship for all you linguistic artists out there, how are you doing, Brandy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Good. I'm glad.
I just want to take this moment to, before we get into this episode, to remind our viewers, if you head over to our Facebook page, Darkness Debaters Podcast, the top pin post, you will find our merch, the link to our merch site. And we've got
Yes.
some great things. We got tumblers. Mandy
We've got
just
magnets.
got a
Just got
magnet.
this magnet.
We got t-shirts. We've got
We do.
we have journals. We have
Yes.
caps, baseball caps, hats, however you want to word that. And we would love you guys to go check that out and give it a look-see and maybe grab you some merch and represent Darkness Debaters
Absolutely.
and spread the love and keep shining light where darkness dwells.
Yes. Yes. Let's keep the light going. I've got.
That's right.
I don't have a Darkness Debater shirt on today. I've got my Adventures with Purpose shirt on today. My search team shirt. So
I
also
love that
check them out.
organization.
They
Yes, love
they
that
do amazing work.
organization. They do.
So with all that being said, the time has come for us to talk about the crash itself and what happened when the families found out. So, Brandy, do you want to take us into the crash and how all that transpired and when?
Yeah, so the night before the crash, this group of three friends, Shirilla the Killer, Dom, and Davion, were out celebrating graduation. They, Shirilla the Killer, and Davion had recently graduated high school. And we didn't really get into this in the first episode, but Davion was, by all accounts, he seemed like a talented young man. He was the starting running back for their high school team. So obviously athletic, had goals. He wanted to become a barber. He had applied for barber school and had been accepted. And he had just graduated high school, as well as Shirilla the Killer. She had just graduated high school. So this night before the crash, they're out celebrating graduation. They're gone to a couple parties. The intent for that night was they were supposed to spend the night, and then they woke up early that morning and they were headed, I want to say they were headed home. I don't, do you recall, Mandy, if they were headed home at that
I
time?
feel like they were headed home.
Okay.
I'll put it up here if we're right or wrong where exactly they were headed. I think they were headed home.
Okay. So this crash happened in Strongsville, Ohio. It's where all three of these young people were lived their whole lives. So, yeah, so it's July 31st, 2022. We have surveillance video of the car that Shirilla the killer was driving, which was a 2018 Toyota Camry. We have video evidence of her turning on to the road where the crash would eventually happen. You see her driving at a reasonable speed. You see her using her blinker, and you see her turning onto this road. Then we have more surveillance video about 50 seconds later, maybe, of the car going at a very excessive speed, way more than what she should have been going, and actually headed straight towards this brick wall where they eventually crash into. You can't really see the crash, but you can hear it, and it sounds like a bomb exploded. This happened at approximately 5:30 that morning. No one was out and about that morning. It would take probably, I'm estimating, I don't know the exact time, but probably about 45 minutes before somebody passes by and notices that a street sign is like mowed down, and then they come across the vehicle and they call it into 911. And that's when police and paramedics, EMTs, they respond to the accident. The car is very mangled, and it's hard to really tell who all is in the vehicle at first. But the officers did finally come to the conclusion that there were 3 occupants in the vehicle, 2 who were obviously DOA, and 1 occupant trapped under the dash, under the steering dash part of the car. She was trapped under there, and she was still breathing. They had to get the jaws of life out, extract everybody, and she was airlifted to the hospital where she went to receive treatment.
Yeah, I've seen some arguing back and forth about the kind of shape that the car was in. Some people are saying that tells them that she didn't do it on purpose. She hit a sign before she hit that wall, and the sign is actually what kept her. It's what slid the car sideways. It is what I've seen. Most people have only seen the passenger side. That's all mangled. So you assume the driver's side looks like that. But the driver's side was in relatively good shape.
Yeah.
The impact was to the passenger side and looked like the rear end. We'll have those photos here. So that's not really a good argument to say that she didn't mean to do it because, you know, the whole car is mangled. No, her side's actually not. I don't think they had to use the jaws of life on her side. I don't remember. Did they? Did they have to cut
I
her
do
side
believe
open?
they did. They had to cut her
Did they?
side
Okay.
open, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Probably so, because it wasn't, you know, pristine, but there was a lot less damage on the driver's side that you can see in the body cam. A lot less damage, especially comparatively to the other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was, I remember I think it was the prosecutor talked about finding her little fuzzy house slipper that looked like it was like stuck on the accelerator. So at first when they saw that, they were like, oh, I wonder if her foot, like that slipper, got lodged in there and made it so that she couldn't take her foot off the gas, like that slipper had something to do with it. Like this is a mechanical failure, a horrible accident, and that's what happened. Of course, we found out that's not what happened.
You're right.
And everybody can go and find the video if you want to see the body cam footage of Dominic's mom being told what happened. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't think
That
we should show that. Yeah.
yeah, and
It's
it's I'm going to warn you now. If you do go look for it, I would tell people don't, just because it is so awful to watch, and I hate. On one hand, I'm glad people can see the devastation that Shirilla the killer caused, but on the other hand, I can't imagine what it would be like to be Christine Russo and have the worst moment of my life immortalized like that.
yeah.
So I would encourage people not to look.
And especially now with this documentary out, and there's so much popularity to it right now, and it just being played over and over and over again. It has to be hard on the family.
Yeah, and Brandy and I try not to do the trust me bro thing, but on this one, trust me bro.
Trust us.
Yeah, let's leave that alone. Because there's plenty of other videos you can go and see if you want to look and see. Mackenzie was such a sweetheart in school and just loved by everybody. There's plenty of videos out there you can go see where people talk about what kind of a horrible bully she was and how she harassed and made people miserable and made people's entire high school existence and experience completely horrible.
Being friends with this girl that she threatened to bring brass knuckles to school, beat me to a bloody pulp, throw her piss on me, and send me to the hospital.
She would talk all this crap about bringing brass knuckles to school to fight me and fight other girls. But yeah, she would bring her brass knuckles to school, and then she'd wear like Timbs and slick her hair back whenever she was trying to show somebody like, don't mess with her, she was about to fight you.
I'm gonna send you a voice message because it's so much to type, but I was getting harassed by these 3 boys, like my junior year of cosmetology school, and finally, one day after they tried to open my car door, when I was in there to I don't even know what they were gonna do, I pulled out my brass knuckles to defend myself because I didn't know what these guys had up their sleeve, and they tried to fucking expel me for having weapons on school grounds when I was literally getting fucking harassed for months by these fucking boys. It was terrible. And then they would throw shit at my car and stuff. It was so bad.
And of course, we heard from her dad in the interview that he did, where he said Mackenzie got accused of bullying and there was an issue at school and she got suspended, and he walked in and she was crying and he said, "Did you do it?" And she said no, and he said that's good enough for me, because he knows when she's lying.
There was an incident that happened. They suspended her for the last day of school. I had to get off work and come get her. And I walked in, I looked at my daughter, and she's sobbing. And I go, "Did you do it?" And she looked at me and goes, "No." And I know when my daughter lies. I go, "Good enough for me, let's go." And I walked her out.
Just my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. I wonder if they know how foolish they look. I don't think they get it. I really think they believe that they are convincing people. And they're not. I haven't. There's one thirsty guy that I've seen posting about her being too pretty to be in prison, and some accounts that people are saying are people close to Mackenzie. They're pretending it's not, but it really is them. And I don't know. I don't know who runs those accounts. There are far more people who are outing you guys. There's psychiatrists giving their opinions. There's behavior analysts giving their opinions. There's actually a guy who does illusions, and like he's a magician. He's an illusionist, but he does a couple of magic tricks. And he gives his opinions on it. He's got some very interesting opinions. So um, you guys are not convincing anybody. Your best bet right now is to make your daughter tell the truth and tell these families what happened. And then you guys work on the accountability and the remorse. Because right now, the parole board is just going to see you all as ridiculous, and you're going to be so shocked when it's denied. She's not going to get out and go back to a normal life if you guys just continue this ruse. It's not going to make anything normal again. And people would respect y'all more if she would take accountability and if you guys would make her do that and you guys would do the same. If you guys would admit mistakes, people would respect y'all a lot more. You might get some sympathy. You might get people supporting you. But as long as you keep this up, everybody sees through this. I'm telling you, everybody sees through you. I haven't seen 3 people that don't see through you. One person is just so thirsty he don't care. And you know, your daughter, Brandy just told me about this, so I'm going to give my opinion and then let Brandy tell you what it was. Your daughter lost the love of her life, and she's in prison doing what now, Brandy? With the video business?
Yeah. So I came across a report done by TMZ here recently, and apparently Shirilla the killer, she's gained a lot of notoriety. The trial was very popular for her, and apparently she's gained some supporters, and specifically from males, from men that are writing into her and pen paling her and all the things that people do. And yeah, apparently she was video chatting with one of these supporters, and she was showing some skin. She was showing her boobies to this supporter in this video, and actually she got reprimanded by the prison or the jail that she's in. She has quite a bit of conduct infractions while she's incarcerated. So even after this tragic incident that took 2 young men's lives, she's in jail, in prison, and still acting a fool, acting up. It's just screams, no remorse, no accountability. It's just disgusting, to be honest. It's just disgusting behavior.
Yeah.
Love cheese. It's my favorite food. I wanna eat cheese. Cheese. All day long. Cheese is my comfort food. I love cheese. I love cheese. I really love.
Y'all, this is not fake. Yes, I made a typo, but it is from actual FOIA documents. The actual documents only show you a date and a code number for the rule broken. You then have to look up that code number on a separate form to figure out what she did wrong. I just condensed the two.
There's her name. Mental health classification, of course, redacted, which it should be. All right, here are her reports. We will start with...
Those are all write-ups?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, these are her write-ups.
In what, 2 years she's been there?
1 year.
Wow.
This is the other thing they gave me. Okay, so escape and related conduct, weapons, drugs and other related matters, gambling, property contraband, fire violations, wow, computer, telephone mail and visiting, tattooing, general provisions. Okay, what was that name? Help me remember. What was the number?
Oh, geez.
So, 5.6. Let's see what 5.6 is. Oh my God, look at all the trouble that day. 6 is being out of place.
So the video you just saw was all of the infractions that we know of so far. Please go check out that creator, give them a follow, give them a like, go comment on that video, tell them you saw them, support them. This lady right here, I can't remember her last name. It'll be up here. Kat was in prison with her. She's got some interesting things to say, and we'll have some of her commentary throughout this episode as well. But she's got a lot of stuff to say. We're only gonna include a very small little piece of what she said, but she's got like I think one of the videos I saw was, I think she said it was part 29, all just about her conduct and the way she acted in prison and stuff like that when she was there. And y'all, she's got receipts, her intake paperwork that proves that she was there at the same time as Mackenzie and Shirilla the Killer. So go give her a follow on TikTok. Go check her out. She's done I think she was on News Nation and did an interview as well. She's pretty cool, and she's very down to earth. She's very open about why she was there. She's just trying to move forward and do better with her life. She's doing great. So go check her out and show her some support, and check out her little series on what an angel Shirilla the Killer has been in prison.
If you're new here, I'm Kat, and I was in prison with Mackenzie Shirilla. You guys asked me for some more tea, so I'm here to spill. Let's get into it. So in Ohio Reformatory for Women, and I'm sure many other prisons, developing your own hustle, if you want to call it, is pretty common. And during my time in prison with Mackenzie, she had developed one of her own. So one of the days I was walking the yard, her and her friend were making their laps, and she came up to the table next to us and started showing off some of her jewelry that she was making and selling. She was making nose rings out of like some kind of wire. There was gold, silver, rose gold, all types of different metals. She also was distressing hats. So hats, like baseball caps, are one of those things that you can get on the packages that I've talked about on here. And she was actually customizing them for people, as well as shoes. So we have either plain white or plain black shoes that you're able to get bought for you through your family and your loved ones. She also was altering clothes. So turning parachute pants that were state issued into like joggers or more tight fitting. So when my friend and I heard her talking about, what she was making, what she was selling, and kind of showing off her products, my friend that I was with, it piqued her interest, and so she asked her about it, and she started talking to us about it. And my friend was going to buy some nose rings from her, so we were talking going back and forth, and she told my friend to send $25 for 2 nose rings to this Cash App, and the Cash App was her mother. She told my friend after that she was going to go back into her unit, call her mom to make sure that she got her the money sent, and if she confirms, then she would bring it out on the next yard. At the time, I didn't think anything of it because Cash App rules the prison and hustles are common. And for that to be what she chose to have as her prison hustle, she could have been doing a lot worse. I don't know if she was, I don't know if she wasn't, but to be making some jewelry and some shoes, I think what shocks me now that I've gone out and seen, just how ridiculous her mother is the fact that her mom was her trusted person. So in prison, pretty much the majority of everyone, or most everyone, has one trusted person on the outside, because like I said, Cash App rules the prison. So if you want anything that you can't get on commissary, if you want to buy more food, if you want to buy anything, you call somebody to Cash App somebody to get it for you, and you have your one dedicated person to do that or to run that for you. And the fact that it was Mackenzie's mom is just confirmation again that she's enabling, that she's encouraging her, that she's, being Natalie Shirilla.
If you couldn't already tell from all them charges. Or charges might not be the right word, but behavior strikes or whatever they call them, where they get in trouble. Where they get in trouble for different things. But, you think about, she's in prison for the murder of the love of her life and his best friend, because Davion was Dom's best friend. And this is coming from Dominic's sister, okay? Davion was Dom's best friend. All of these friends that were in the one documentary saying that they all were best friends and Davion was best friends and, he was best friends with all of them. Dom's sister says that's not true. And that it was kind of like a friend circle and they kind of hung around each other. But Davion was best friends with Dominic. Not Davion was best friends with everybody. So
right.
I'm just saying. I'm kind of, my opinion for entertainment purposes only. I'm just wondering if some of these people think that they'll be able to ride her coattails when she gets out, like for some fame and notoriety. If that's kind of, if that's kind of what they're going for.
I wonder that
Just
too.
question. Just a
Yeah,
question. We're just curious, and
just
it's just
allegedly.
just for entertainment purposes. We don't know any of these people, so
No, we don't.
Anyway, we're going to go back into the trial a little bit, or what led up to the trial.
Yeah, I think too we should cover Shirilla the Killer's actions. We talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but pretty immediately after the crash, she doesn't really seem like a grieving girlfriend of someone who just lost the love of her life. She's, like we said before, she's making TikToks in her hospital bed. She's hoping for modeling gigs, and she's hoping for notoriety after all this. Mm-hmm. The police come to question her, understandably, because we have two young men who are no longer here with us now. And Shirilla the Killer's mom is there in the room with her. And they want to question her, and she doesn't really want to cooperate with the questioning. So the Shirillas, the mom, and the killer start talking this gibberish to each other while the police are in the room, and it's on audio. They catch this on audio where they're talking gibberish, and it comes out pretty quick. They're not fooling anybody, like you said. And she's asking her mom if we can, I forget the exact wording, but it was something along the lines of, can we just blame this on a medical episode?
She said, can we just tell them I had a seizure or something?
Oh, yes, that's what it was. But she's doing it.
Her mom said
she's
yes.
Asking, yeah, she's asking this of her mom in front of the police in this gibberish language, and so she's already trying to come up with her story. And the police are like, listen, this is 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide we're talking about here. And then she's like, well, can you just take my license away for 10 years and just call it a day, And of course, no, we cannot do that. That's not how it works.
So out of touch with reality.
Exactly. Yes. So, yeah, I think we should note that right from the beginning, she was already planning her excuses. She was already looking to get out of it. And something somebody mentioned is if it truly was an accident, if it truly was something medical, first of all, if it was something medical, it surely would have been documented in her medical records at one point that she has these seizures or whatever. There is absolutely nothing in her medical records, according to the prosecutors and the detectives, because I don't know for sure, but according to them, that there's nothing documented. If this truly was an accident and she didn't think she was guilty of anything, why would she offer up to surrender her license for 10 years? Why would she do that?
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of weird. And that makes me feel like that perception of consequences for doing something wrong makes me feel like consequences at home would be like, and this is an example, I'm not saying this ever happened, but as an example, she set fire to the living room rug, so she wasn't allowed to have a soda that night. Like that kind of consequences. The fact that you think you can kill two people and they'll just take your license for 10 years and that's it. And if it was medical, and again, kudos to our linguistics artists out there who have deciphered this language, because the audacity of this mother-daughter duo thinking that nobody would ever, they're just way too clever, you know? The audacity to think that y'all are that clever and there aren't people out here that know exactly what you said is amazing. But I'm so glad that you were that audacious, because now we know. Now we know.
Yeah.
We know exactly. And,
So,
and if it was medical and you thought it was medical, you thought, oh, I had a why would you ask somebody, can we just say it was a seizure? Why wouldn't you just say, look, I had a seizure. Y'all run the tests and look, because there's tests they can do on you and find out if you're having seizures or if you had seizures.
Mm-hmm.
So
there is.
If I was her mom and I knew my child had this medical issue, I would go talk to the doctors and say, look, cops are coming to talk to her. Y'all need to run these tests on her in case things go sideways, so that I can take all that to the district attorney and show them that she's got a medical condition, so it was an accident. But it wasn't an accident. And that was found in a court of law.
It was.
So.
It was. So getting into the trial, Shirilla the killer's attorneys and her decide that they're going to go against having a jury trial, and they have a bench trial, which essentially is the judge, in this case herself, hears all the evidence from both sides. They present the evidence to the judge directly, and the judge decides if the defendant is guilty or not guilty. Interesting strategy. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know the reasoning behind all that. It was interesting. It was interesting strategy. We get into the trial. On day one, it's noted that Shirilla the killer comes into court wearing an elbow brace. Even though there is nothing documented in her medical records, and these are records they can get through the jail, there's nothing documented that says she needs an elbow brace. So right off the bat, it sure seems like, and this is allegedly, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, she's trying to pull a fast one on the judge. She's trying to garner some sympathy on the first day of trial. And we get into the trial, and we get into the evidence that's presented to the judge. And we get into the black box that's retrieved from the car. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, but in this day and age, there is computers and everything. Everywhere there's computers.
Yeah.
And our cars, especially, I don't know what year I forget what year they started really putting all these computers in the cars, but I think it's been a good 20 years they've been doing this. And
I think so.
It records and it documents and it can tell, you know, how fast you were going. We learned this. I want to tell you, we learned this in the Karen Reed trial. They can document when you stop, when you back up, how fast you're going, when you start the car, when you kill the car. There's a lot of things you can read from a car's black box nowadays. And they were able to pull this black box from this car that she was driving and tell not only that at one point she mapped out this route that she took that morning, and they were able to tell that once she turned that corner, and it looked so normal, and it looked like, just somebody with their blinker on making a turn. As soon as she turned that corner, she started accelerating on that gas pedal. And she kept accelerating until she was going 100 miles an hour. There was absolutely no attempt at braking. She was full pedal to the metal all the way until she crashed into the side of that building. And they were the prosecutors were able to get all of this information from that black box, which I just think is impressive.
I do too. And I remember, I believe it was Dominic's sister said that she drove that same road. And I don't remember if she said she was doing 30 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour. But she said that particular road, and I have seen people who have dash cammed that road. She said that she had to stay on her car to keep it on the road because that road is like hilly and there's some curves, and it's not the road where you're going to have a seizure and just drive straight at 100 miles an hour. Or whatever, or faint, or whatever she's claiming happened. And I remember the black box saying the car went into neutral and then was put back into drive.
Yeah.
And to me, that sounds like Dom throwing the car into neutral to get it to slow down.
Yeah.
Because what do they tell us when we start driving? If the car won't, if your brakes go out, you can't get the car to slow down, throw it into neutral. I wish, and some cars have a lock, so you can't do this. I don't know if that one's one that does. I wish he would have thrown it into park, because it still would have been kind of devastating, but they probably would have walked away. I mean, that car would have been totaled. I mean, a complete mechanical failure, but they would have walked away. But I'm sure in that situation, that's not where your mind is at. Your mind's not, he's going back to things that were told to him, like if your brakes go out, put it in neutral. Kind of just, that's got to be a situation. And then wondering or thinking, she's not going to continue this. She's going to stop. Because she's done this before. She's made these threats before, and she hasn't carried through with it. So I don't want to destroy her car because she's not really going to do this. In my opinion, Dom probably thought she would not actually do this. I don't think he thought she was capable of it. And Davion as well. I don't think either one of those boys really thought she was capable of that. I think that they thought she was just bratty and making threats. Now, I do know that Dom was getting a little bit more, like he was starting to record her.
He was.
He was telling people about conversations. So he was I think he was starting to see it. And I think he knew that she had the potential to hurt him, but I think he felt like it would be more like she would beat him up. I just don't think either one of those boys really believed that she would crash that car and kill them. I don't think they thought that about her.
I agree. Yeah.
And again, that goes back to, Dom waiting for her to be the girl he fell in love with again. And that's heartbreaking. And that's so very common in people who stay in these toxic situations in these toxic relationships, and everybody goes, well, why didn't they just leave? Well, it's not that easy
Yeah.
because he's hanging on to who she was. Now, I have heard that he was getting ready to break things off with her and was possibly already seeing someone else. That sounds like intent. That sounds like maybe she had found out. Maybe she brought it up to him and that started a fight. Maybe she said, hey, so I heard you're seeing somebody. And maybe he said, yep, I sure am. This is over. Maybe he was telling her. Maybe that's why Davion was there. Maybe he wanted backup to tell her. Maybe he didn't want to be alone with her to tell her. Maybe he thought, I need some backup.
Yeah.
Cases like this, it always runs through my head like, if only I could have.
What ifs.
Yeah. What if me personally, what if I could have talked to him 5 minutes before? What if I could go back in time? And I'm sure their families do the same thing. And it's just, it is so sad because everything I've seen about Dom and Davion, they were such great young men that would be doing such amazing things. I mean,
Right.
I personally feel like Davion would own his own shop by now. Like, he would have his own thing, and we would be laughing at skits on TikTok going, have you seen this dude? He's a barber. And, I feel like that would be Davion. So it's just, it's rough.
It's
But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get through the trial, and the judge comes back with her verdict, and obviously it's guilty. And she sentences, we go into the sentencing of Shirilla the killer, and we're able to hear victim impact statements. And I don't know if at this time you want to get into Dom, his mom, what she said during her impact statement.
Maureen, can you start with your name?
I'm Christine Russo. I'm Dominic's mother. No one wanted this to be a murder or to punish Mackenzie Shirilla for this accident. But this was not a car accident. The evidence and science proved that Mackenzie Shirilla murdered my son, Dominic, as well as Davion. There's no fix put in this case, as the Shirillas would like to proclaim. I want to thank Strongsville Police Department and the state of Ohio for seeking the truth behind this crash. Thanks to them, we all know what happened in that car that day. What we don't know is why. I wish I could change this every day. I lost 3 children in that crash. Not a minute goes by each day that I don't think about my son, as well as Davion. My heart is forever broken. The cries heard from the Shirilla family and friends after the verdict are nothing more than a lack of remorse. Mackenzie Shirilla had a choice. Dom and Davion did not. We are all left here to mourn. But what Dominic and Davion lost can never be remedied in any way or by any particular sentence. On July 31st, 2022, I called Mackenzie's mother, hysterical with the loss of my son and Davion. I knew Mackenzie was in the hospital, and the first statement said to me was, "Oh, please don't listen to what everyone's saying on Facebook." Yeah, my son is dead, his friend is dead, and I'm checking on yours. Yet social media is what's important. Social media has made a game out of the life of Mackenzie and is making a game out of this heart-wrenching tragedy. No one can imagine the pain of losing a child unless they have lost one themselves. The pain is forevermore. Time does not heal this wound. Mackenzie, going to prison because you did this. Be thankful that you're still alive and have a future, whatever that may be. Dom and Davion were robbed of their futures, their hopes, and their dreams. Mackenzie showed no mercy on Dominic, nor did she on Davion. Only God at this time can have mercy on her soul. Thank you.
Good morning. Could you start with your name and speak up and speak slowly?
Yes. Your Honor, my name is Jamie Flanagan. I am the mother of the victim, Davion Flanagan. I want to share a small part of what we lost on 7/31/2022. My son, Davion, is and always will be so much more than cargo. He was precious. He was an amazing soul with a heart of gold. He gave to the world what he wanted most in his own life: love. The kind of love that would rescue a friend in the middle of the night, no questions asked. The kind that would protect others and honor them. He made friends easily with his infectious smile. He was a gifted athlete. He had plans to go to barber school and open his own shop. My son did not have a clique of friends, but instead was a friend to all. He would go out of his way to show love and kindness to others, including those that were often cast aside by society, the less fortunate, the developmentally challenged, the hurting, and the unvalued. Davion made sure that everyone that crossed his path knew that he truly saw them, that he valued them, and that they were worth his time. Davion and my kids have had more than their fair share of heartbreak, of hardship, and of loss. Davion was adopted with his sisters from foster care. They are biological siblings. We are honored to be chosen, or to have been chosen, to be their parents. They're forever family. I am devastated by the loss of Davion. The world lost a truly special man. My girls lost their best friend, their protector, the one and only trusted family that has been by their side from day one. This alone, or he alone, understands the pain and loss that they have gone through and was always there for them. This fact alone breaks my heart for my girls, for my family. So many dreams shattered, a future stolen. We will never get to see the amazing man that he was surely to become. His life was precious. Like I said, he was so much more than cargo. I pray daily for strength and perseverance for myself and for my family. I also pray that Mackenzie will find true remorse in her heart and true repentance. We thank all of those that worked so hard to help us bring justice for our son. We are forever thankful. Davion, we miss you terribly, but as Christians, we grieve with hope. We will make sure your memory lives on, and we ache for the day that we are united again in eternity. Thank you.
It's a hard watch. It's a tearful watch. But that's going to do it for episode 2 of our coverage, which is a lot of opinions and for entertainment purposes only. But stay tuned. Episode 3 will drop next Sunday, and we will get into some of the aftermath, things that have gone on since the trial ended, and some of the things that Dominic and Davion's families are working to accomplish and how you can help with that. So
Yes.
We will see you right here next week. Same Darkness Debater time, same Darkness Debater channel. What you got, Brandy?
Until next time, keep shining light where darkness dwells. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.